Hello guys, what's up? This is Shark talking. Welcome back to my channel. So today I want to talk about the new event that they released. I didn't have time to do an event about Nebulous Shockwaves, but we will talk about this shortly. But I need to explain why I didn't make videos before this, and we'll try to make it very fast so we can talk about the event itself. This will sound like a little of a rant, but guys, I need to be honest here so you guys can understand why this video didn't reach you guys sooner. Simply because I have some problems with my income on real life. I had to look for some jobs and I got a freelance job. And this freelance job, it started with being only 1 day long, but then it was prolonged for one more day, then for another day, then for yet another day. So it was 4 days of work, and it was not easy because it's a freelance of work of trying to install some new software on a very large store here on Brazil. But it don't even pay much. I was terrorized by 3 companies. So on the lineup here, I was working for one company, that was working for another company, that was working for another yet company, that was working for yet another company. So you can understand how this works. It was a lot of pressure, and I got very tired by doing this. But the first thing is, why was I doing that? I was working like almost close to 12 hours in a day. It was simply because I need to. I have to pay my bills, and I have some debt with my rent, and the owner even made a document saying that if I don't pay the rent, I will probably just have to leave the house. So I didn't want to go search for other jobs because my wife is dealing with some health issues, and I don't want to stay too much away from house. But sadly, this happens, and this happens because it's my fault, because I thought that I could leave or at least get some source of income from Valkyrie Anatomia, but it won't ever happen. Sadly, it won't ever happen. I'm doing content for this game for 10 months. It's a very long time, and I realized something. On the past Valhalla Assault, well, I was using my original account to measure how many players we have active, and we have already something like 3.5k active players, even counting some casuals, and I have 1.1 K subscribers. I have around 30% of the player base subscribed to my channel, and even with that much, I know that it's quite a lot because most YouTube creators doesn't really reach that many numbers based on the population of the game. It's simply that Valkyrie Anatomia doesn't have many players, so based on 30% of the community is quite large number. I'm very thankful for having you guys coming here watching my videos and a lot of stuff. But the thing is, I thought that one day I would be able to get at least some revenue from the game. But the thing is, I even lost some of my support because some players quit the game and they drop support. And I understand they are not even playing the game anymore. They're probably not watching my videos as well. So I just lost a lot of support, and I barely can even pay a single simple bill of a water bill. Could you understand this? I don't know if I'm being clear, but the whole work of the whole month by covering this game, in the end, I won't even be able to pay my water for my water bill for my house. Can you understand that? This is what happens, and then I don't see a future covering this game anymore, and it still takes me too much time. If you watched my past live stream, you know that I was trying to make some other content, but I still didn't find the time because I'm trying to pay this rent because I have to pay it and I have to look for work. And when I reach house, I'm very tired. The game is running most of the time on auto here on the emulator, so I don't know what to do. I will try to make some stuff as soon as I can pay this month rent, and then I will try to organize my life and what can I do to make some more income from YouTube. Because if I don't make it, I will simply have to quit all my work in this channel as well. So this is the truth. This is the hard truth, but I'm being honest with you guys. So I don't know, and this is also why I know that there's not many content creators for this game. And well, this is it, guys. I will stop here, and well, let's try to change the subject. Sorry for ranting about this stuff. I know that a lot of people will give me dislikes, but it's the truth. It's better for me to say what is happening than for me to just disappear and you guys won't know a thing about what happened if I just left without saying things. But okay, now that we're done with this subject, let's just talk about the event. Nebulous Shockwaves is an event that introduces 2 new characters to the game. It's a new version of Mystina and a new version of Arngrim. They are in hires for arbiter heroes. There's a very interesting story behind this event. And also they did something that the first part of the event got in a single day, and then 2 days after it, we got the second part. This is good because this event has a very large duration. You can see here we still have 11 days, 17 days for this to end, and that's quite a lot. We see that the transient memory is already. We still have the transient memory event. Wasn't this event about to end? It's a very strange thing. Maybe they prolonged it further, and you still can summon. Yeah, this is very strange. I didn't know that they did that. They probably something of the things that I didn't notice on the notice. So you see, we have this new version of Mystina and this new version of Arngrim. It's called Fang Warrior Arngrim and Darkness Mystina. But this Darkness Mystina is not from the dark element. This is very strange. Actually, she's from ice. And then I will talk about these 2 characters because I think this is the most important thing. Always, they still share the same type of summon rates. It's still the best one that we got recently when they changed it. So they start with 0.5% chances and get up to 1% chances when you get to step 3 onwards. And the weapon will get to 2.5 each one of the weapons. So it's not so bad, but the thing is they are still releasing a lot of characters at the same time. It's very hard for you to justify getting every one of them. You don't need to, because you won't even be able to max them in a short amount of time. So I will talk about the characters and the weapons so we can at least understand how this works and if they are worth or not. The thing is, with the current release of base release in the game, Darkness Mystina is just yet another damage dealer that tries to make damage. And she will be outclassed not much in the future. Arngrim is actually different because he belongs to a different class and a very special class that's a tank. There's not many tanks on this game. So Fang Warrior is one of the best ones, but he still gets replaced in the future by other characters. But you can still use Fang Warrior. He's still the coolest one of them all. You still want Fang Warrior instead of other, like, there's a summer character in a bikini. It's called a Summer A-Light, and she is a little better than Fang Warrior, especially on damage, but not so much on the other things, but the difference is just so small that you barely even see. So, talking about Darkness Mystina, you can see that her status are very close to 3000, just like most characters that come from the 3rd generation. And she has the first passive, just like all of them, increasing the mag power and the damage from the elemental. This time it's ice. The second one is she increases damage dealt by all attacks, so this is like Omni. It's a multiplier on the end of the calculations and a lower chance of getting attacked by an enemy. She is very interesting to use with another tanks because she will she will increase the aggro of the tank automatically. And then she has the last one that is increase the power of Big Bolt and Abyss Wave. And at level 5 it turns her normal attacks gets very strong. She's a very good damage dealer for normal attacks and even action skill, but especially for normal attacks. And then you have to increase this to max. The last one is the one that you get by getting her personal ward. But for normal damage, she's good. It's very easy to build a character for normal damage. You can just use, let me see here. You can simply use, let me click here to see if she already has the increased normal attack damage and can skill. Yeah, you see, she's made for this. She increased normal attack damage, then ice attacks by 30%. Simply build her as she is. You don't need to get the ES burst on this character at all. And she also increased her all purify attack damage, but it's limited skill. It's better than the incant skill version that is terrible. So okay, we have the information about Mystina. She is good. She's a very good, the best ice mage in the game. She's way better than Yume, actually, but she's not supportive. Yume also helps with reducing the status augment chances, but Mystina is very superior in damage. So we have now to talk about Arngrim, and Arngrim is a little awesome. I really wanted to get this character, but we will have to wait. There's no other chances to get this character right now. And you can see he has only 2 attacks of his is fire. I forgot to see this about Mystina. Mystina case, she also only has a poison lance attack that is on ice element. You really need an ice staff from her. And Arngrim will also need fire elemental weapons because only 2 are on fire, and with 6 attacks it's 4 with no elements and 2 with elements. So okay, we have the information here. The same thing for Arngrim, increase of attack and fire. Then guarding against an enemy attack recovers HP and then reduces damage taken. This is where it starts to get complicated. He doesn't have increase on aggro by himself. It's just the same thing as the original Arngrim. He needs his personal orb to get the increasing chances of drawing enemy attacks. You can see it here. It also increases his physical and fire damage. This is not the important part because he is not exactly a damage dealer, but he can still perform more damage than characters from the 2nd generation, but can't compare to characters from the 3rd generation in damage. But when you see here, it's just a complemental thing, because he's a tank by itself. And heavy iron armor is just like having the part of the original Arngrim where it increases defense and mag defense to like 50% increase. It's a little better than that, I think. And he also has increased resistance to status elements to become even better when maxing all of his passives. Lastly, he also increases his fire action skill damage from 3rd turn onwards, just like Eventide Valkyrie. But he's not exactly, like I said, a damage dealer. And you have to exchange his Fire Spirit because it increases fire attack damage. It's the worst enchant skill that we have in the game. I think you need to use ES Burst. Even though he's not a damage dealer, he can still do okay damage, and you can stack it with Blaze String. It will make for average damage. Average compared to 3rd generation. He will still outperform Generation 2 characters. So okay, we have this information about him. Sadly, you have to summon for the character and the orb, and without the orb, he's only a half character. He won't be able to do much damage, but this happens with all the Gen 3 characters as well. So now let's just talk about the weapons. We have a new staff that was made for Mystina, and a new weapon that was made for Fang Warrior Arngrim. The thing is, Style Hacks is the staff that grants colossal magical damage. It's interesting because the first one we have about this. And it increases normal attack of ice damage by 10%. It's just like Mystina is a normal attack nuker. It gets even further better with this. But it's not exactly the best passive we have. It's just like having Demise Axe on an ice staff. And then we have Nebulous. This weapon is for Fang Warrior Arngrim, and it increases the fire resistance of everyone. It also creates a protective status element barrier. What happens is that we will get a special, the first time we get this in the game, it's a different shield that will break once you get inflicted with status elements, but it will protect you from getting any status elements at least once, and you can use it 2 times. It's not so good here based on this, and as you upgrade the weapon, it will decrease the damage even further and increase the elemental resistance. This part is very similar to another weapon that we got that's a 5-star weapon that is actually the only one of the only 5-star weapons that are good in this game, and it's called Burn Pledge, and Burn Pledge has Burn Shield and do the same thing, increases elemental resistance and probably the shield as well. Only elemental resistance, sorry. The one that increases the shield is the very special Death Graciato. So it has a mix of the 2 weapons, but remember, this new weapon from Arngrim doesn't heal, so it's just protective, not exactly healing, so it may not be the best option all the time. And it's very strange that his signature weapon is not exactly like his artifact. You can see the artifact weapon is way better looking. So we talk about the 2 weapons. Let me just see if there's anything else about Nebulous, because let me search here. Nebulous also increases damage dealt based on the number of times you've taken damage. So it's interesting to have on him, but also you can just use a better fire weapon if you have any. The fire groom that we got in the past, one of the past Valhalla assaults, you can simply do this very similar results by using, let me search here. You can also use this great Sword Eruption, can work very well with this Arngrim. You can see that the guard rate is not so good actually, but can be used if you still wanting to use him for not long fights. You can also use this weapon here that also works well. Bluff Flare also increases the purification gauge by taking damage. Well, not so much, but if your boss inflicts single target, it will be good enough. And also the other weapon that we can use with him is just the broom. That search here. The broom. Sorry, I was talking wrongly. It reduces dark damage taken. It's a fire weapon that reduces dark. It's a little strange based on that, but also increases fire damage. It's a very good weapon to use with him, but you see the guard hate is not the best one for fire, for physical, but you can still get good if you have clever and some other things. So you can see here, this is the information about the weapons that you can use with him, and you can still use this falling in some situations, but I don't think it's all that good. Use with this Arngrim. Okay, so we talking about this Arngrim. I forgot to say something. That passive that we get with his sword is also found on a very strange weapon, the Christmas sword that we got from Valhalla Assault. Let me search for it. This one. Tarandozi also has the same thing. Angry Charge that increases damage dealt based on numbers of times you've taken. So you can replace that by using this as a passive. Okay, it's a very good weapon actually. It's very good for long fights. We're talking about the characters now. We'll just talk about the event itself. Nebulous Shockwaves has very strange design because the challenge 3 stages are very, very hard. Guys, Nebulous Challenge 3 is not so hard because exactly, it's very hard because you have to face 4 optional bosses and one of the common ones, and these bosses have very large amounts of HP. I think they are passing the 20 million HP for the stage with called it challenge yet. It's not the special boss yet. So guys, I really recommend you to farm challenge 2 because the reduced time in farming really impact on your experience in the game. If you're farming a stage that take like 3 turns to defeat the boss, I think you spend way too much time trying to farm stuff. Challenge 2 is the boss has way less HP and seems to be a better option. But if you're very strong or have the characters on the event, I think you can farm this other one. So you have a very strong full elemental squad, so you can choose one of these ones here, will also work. So now let me get back here and talk about the Challenge EX3. You see it's different, the AP cost is a little higher, so in this case here, the Challenge EX, the DX2 is easily the best one to choose if you don't summon for the character of the weapons. And lastly, we have this new boss, Nebulous Challenge EX. EX is the super boss. I will do a video about this because I can beat with this new account that I have. It's not so hard. And then we see exchange booth, and let's talk about the items that we have here. This exchange booth is interesting because we have a lot of good items as well. Clay of Guidance, Yggdrasil Branch, Silver Bangle. We have this generic weapon here is not so good, you can simply skip. And then we have a new E defense plus, this is good for tanks, only for tanks exactly. And we have gold scrolls, they are good. This is for the second part of the game. Get this exclusive ore for the event, Awakening Ember, okay, Two Nameless Bugs. This is for the second part of the event, or it's for the first? It's for the first, sorry. The second part we'll talk about when it ends. Here you see that there's also hammers. I only recommend farming for hammers if you get a lot of the characters and weapons of this event. If you're not summoning, don't get this very bad hate for the event. So you see there's a Yggdrasil Branch for the second part, Gold Bangle, more gold scrolls, silver scrolls, another exclusive ore. Other Awakening Ember. The rewards are very good. I can't complain about the rewards. And there's even more of the Nameless Hero Memory 5 here. You have to choose what you get here because the second part also has the Mark stuff. This is the largest farming thing. So well, if you don't want to farm the free stuff, at least get the ones I said here. And well, this is it, guys. I think I explained the best things about this event and the characters. I really like Fang Warrior Arngrim. I wish I was able to summon for him, but I spent all of my gens trying to get both Awakened and Linnets on my squad. I will release a video showing how I did with my pulls, but I have the 2 Awakened Linnets orbit now. It was a very good thing. I had to farm some gens from level ups, have to even use Perfect Sphere to get it, but it was worth it. So guys, I will just end the video here. Sorry about my rants, sorry, but I need to be honest, I need to be clear. Or else you guys just see me not posting videos anymore and you think this is strange. So I will have to ask again, if you want to support this channel for me to keep releasing videos for Valkyrie Anatomia. There's a Patreon link here on the description, and also the PayPal button that you can use. I will try to make a live stream on the weekend. I'm not so sure if I'll be able. If I'm not, I will try to do the day after and try to experiment with different days for doing live streams. So thank you for watching this video. Sorry for the rant, and we see each other on the next video. Bye.